Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Sweet Space, a podcast owned by my good friend Andrew P., who will be joining us today, as he has on many other occasions before this. Say hi.
Hello. I've actually been here the entire time. I was here before this person introduced the podcast. I was here before you watched YouTube, and I was here probably before anyone was born. Like any
For
single human in
anyone.
existence. Yeah, just want to drop that down, make people aware. I was holding it in for a long time. I was trying to keep it a secret, but I think it's time to finally, let people in on the joke, let them understand what's going on.
The implications of that are so, robust, because, if you've been around for, longer than anyone has been born, does that mean anyone who is currently alive? So, the oldest person in existence.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, but can you there's a problem on my end, I think. I don't know if my computer's picking up the audio properly.
Oh, really? Well, you can hear me,
Yeah.
right?
No, I can hear you, but when I speak, I don't hear you acknowledging me. Like I don't hear the thought enter
I'm
your
acknowledging
head
you right
and
now.
then
Oh,
hear like the
okay.
reaction. Because I
Oh,
have a new software, it's supposed to like interface with you more directly, and that doesn't seem to be
right.
working. It's
Right.
not
The
synced
brain
up. I have
chips.
to
I
go to
didn't realize
Discord
they'd rolled
settings.
those out yet.
No, well, you're not supposed to. But I mean,
Not supposed
I'm
to.
supposed to be able to reap the benefit of it, and I'm not doing that, so I need to disconnect and come back. It shouldn't take long though.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Oh, wow. I guess I just have to cancel the podcast. I don't think he's ever coming back. Well, I guess I can't do that because it's
All
his
right,
podcast.
it says it's updating, so I don't know when it'll actually finish. It could be now, it could be never, but we might as well get this out of the way now
Yeah, we
because
might as
I
well.
can't guarantee. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing is guaranteed in life
Nope.
except the existence of a Wikipedia rabbit hole. That's pretty
Yeah.
sure. And the fact
That
that Russia
I
has existed since at least 1874.
Well, we don't know. I don't know. The thing is, until we've seen the Wikipedia rabbit hole again, we can't verify that it's ever existed.
Is it
When
like
you
an
want to pull
object
it up,
permanence thing where
if you want
your
to
your
show me.
mom does the peekaboo
Yeah.
thing on your eyes and you don't know if anything else in the world exists?
I think she goes somewhere that's not here. She's left my reality, and my reality may be the only one that exists.
That's true.
Or at least that's
That
what I
is very
believed when I
true.
was a small child. And, no one's ever disproven it to me, so
Exactly. And small children have the most pure minds, so technically they are
yeah.
the most correct. I think that's how it
They
works.
might be the most in tune with reality. I think that's
I think
that's
we need
quite
to start
profound.
asking children how long Russia has been around, and they'll tell us the
Yeah.
answer. We
Well,
need to
we
do a
could ask the
survey.
woman who's owned Russia since 1814, and she might be able to tell us.
Oh, now it's 1814? You said 1874
Yeah.
last time.
Well, I had to adjust my numbers because the woman who's owned Russia since 1874 told me that it was actually 1814.
Right. Well, seems legit enough to me. I don't think we have to do any further fact checking.
Well, I mean, I don't know. She might come back next week and tell me owned it as early as 1786.
Now that would be
I'm
really
not
fucked
saying that
up.
she will, but I think it's
And there is a
entirely
distinct
possible that she,
possibility.
yeah, that she
Yeah.
has access to methods of ownership that we can only dream of. She's actually, putting down the paperwork to have owned it far into the distance. It's amazing. A lot of people do patents to try to own things into the future, like for the next 10 years or the next 20. But has the revolutionary idea to own things further into the past.
Yeah. I think we should
It's
learn a thing or two
uncontested
from that.
territory. Yeah.
Just like how
Okay, it
you
says
own
update.
this podcast into the past.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great. It's like what is
It's a
it?
great business venture.
Uh Horizontal integration, but like temporally. Who was that guy
Um,
with the freaking Rockefeller oil? He did horizontal integration. He
yeah, that
made
was his
bank
legal.
off.
That was his legal name, Rockefeller Oil.
Yeah, right, Mr. Rockefeller, last name oil. So people knew what he was about.
Yeah. I mean, his relative named Ukraine. He was a bit of a more loose cannon.
Oh, we don't like to talk about that. Robert Ukraine was a deranged man,
No, no,
and
no,
I'm
no, no, no,
I'm
no. Ukraine Oil was his legal name.
well, he gave his son was Ukraine oil.
Oh,
Robert
right, yeah.
Ukraine wasn't able to make his product a reality, but he convinced his son through some unknown means. I don't know how, but he somehow convinced his son that
I
this
don't
was
think
a
we'll ever know.
future and a product worth pursuing. And Mr. Ukraine Oil was a genius, but he used it in a warped
Exactly.
way. He was a twisted man. He came from a twisted family, and that's how Ukraine oil came to be.
It's seriously messed up.
Yeah. It's actually
I
not even Ukraine. It's technically Ukraine's monster. If
Ukraine's
you read the
monster.
books, you'll have more familiarity.
Ah, yes, my favorite classic science fiction novel, Ukraine or the Modern Prometheus.
They teach it in school sometimes.
They teach it in school sometimes.
Sometimes, not you, very very rarely, almost never.
They
But
get in a lot of legal trouble when they do it.
if you go to the right school, maybe if you go to the wrong school, I should say.
If you
You
turn
may
down
find
the
it in
alleyway
the
and you
curriculum.
find
Yeah.
and you find a dark, secluded building,
You go to where you would be going to Carnegie University and you make a hard left, and you'll find it there.
yeah, you make a hard left to the liberal university.
Oh yeah, those disgusting
Deep
liberals
cut.
trying to indoctrinate us, tell us that Ukraine oil is somehow good. It's crazy.
Yes,
I
yes,
just don't
yes.
understand how they live with them.
Can you imagine like a political ad being like, "Soak it into the fingertips"?
Oh, don't even do the voice.
I don't know
It's
how to do
very
the
bad.
voice.
The ad shows up and they soak it into the fingertips, and now a little bit behind the neck and into the cheekbones, the jowls. It's disturbing.
This is a message from the government of Canada. And then the little jingle happens.
Did we even break down the Ukraine oil thing to the people who've watched the show
No.
yet? I don't even know.
I don't think we've explained it.
I think that they're just jumping in on this, and they're now hearing about me rubbing the oil into like the face and the chest, and they have to just deal with it. They have to live with that now.
They have to live with that.
Being blindsided by this.
They've slid into it.
It's nasty. It's despicable stuff we're doing here.
I guess if
We should
anyone
probably
does,
add like a FBI disclaimer at the start of this podcast. I
Well,
consider
since
doing
you-
it in Phantasmalarchy.
well, since you own the podcast, I mean that's really your responsibility.
No, but I mean, you're at the very least, the most minuscule capacity, a co-contributor. I can't say that you don't have some
That's true.
amount of, tiny access to the
I
the inner
contribute my
workings
voice.
of the what?
I contribute my voice to the project. That's true.
Yeah, you lend your voice to the performance, and you lent a powerful illusion of being in charge that I was able to work with and
Exactly.
exploit for my empire.
I guess if anyone does want the context for Ukraine oil, it's just like a random concept that Andrew came up with some of his friends, where like I don't even know how to explain it. Like there's a type of oil called Ukraine oil, and it's being sold as a product, and there's a guy with like a very unsettling voice who's peddling it, and he's very deliberately talking in stuff that sounds like innuendos while like talking about applying it. Like he's
I'm
a
not
very
sure that it
unsettling
was
dude.
even. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting. I don't mean to do that.
No, I was done talking actually, because I don't know how else to explain it. I was trying to think of a word, but I'm out. They
I
all
don't
slipped
actually
away.
think. I'm not certain that it was like intentionally innuendo. I think the thing was that he wasn't trying to make it innuendo, but it's like impossible not to. Because he's talking about the Ukraine oil is very moist and healthy for your body.
Yeah, no,
You
maybe I'm
must rub it in
mischaracterizing him.
every
Like,
pore inside of you so that it enters through the skin and soaks the organelles. And it gets like really specific.
into the ends of the hair follicles.
The ends of the hair follicles
That's a
beneath
direct line
and
from your
under
podcast.
each knuckle of the finger.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I was mischaracterizing him. I don't think he's intentionally making innuendos. He's just saying stuff that sounds like it could be innuendos.
And then I think there was this whole thing about you don't want to apply too much Ukraine oil because then you become so slippery your organs just glide out of your body.
I mean, on the other hand, like, you become basically immune to everything. Because, like, everything just kind of slides off you.
Yeah, but I mean...
It's like that
you have
one
to be
devil fruit
immune
from
to
One Piece, the slip fruit.
Otherwise, you're immune to you as well. You'll slip right out of yourself.
It'll slip out of yourself. That's how you become disconnected and in spirit.
Yeah,
It's like
you
that
start
scene from
locked
Doctor
out.
Strange where he just like fucking like goes through the universe.
logged out of your own freaking body. That's the problem,
It's
though. The
fucked up.
teens these days are trying to get into Ukraine oil because their friends think it's cool for whatever reason,
Exactly.
and they hook
It's
them
like the
on
new
it, and they
vaping.
start using more. They're like, "Oh, my skin, it's so smooth. It's so practical now. Look at this. I can skate across the classroom
Yeah.
floors. It's barely even expending energy. It's frictionless."
You think Ukraine oil is just another harmless type of lotion, and that's where they get you.
No, no, that's where the oil gets you. The oil has you in its clutches.
Exactly. Classrooms have tried to ban Ukraine oil, but the oil just kind of like seeps into everything. So they can't
It's like
ban
trying to
Ukraine
ban
oil
phones.
without banning every object in the classroom.
It's a lot like trying to ban phones. It's very hard. People sneak it in little baggies. You stuff it up their rectum like when you go into a jail, that kind
Yeah,
of
right up
thing.
there with the eighth of an
They get
iPhone. So it's an even more
Yeah,
direct
yeah.
comparison.
It disguises it. Because the eighth of the iPhone, it's in X-ray has a hard time telling the difference between 1 quart of Ukraine oil and an eighth of an iPhone.
Yeah,
It's a
they
flaw in the
famously
machine.
look the exact same.
Yeah, very similar under
And
under
also,
an
it's a
X-ray.
massive health risk to put Ukraine oil up your rectum because it would risk the eighth of an iPhone sliding out, and the eighth of an iPhone being up there is a very important health benefit.
It's critical for the development of the human mind and body,
Yeah,
just like the
exactly.
brain chip. Although
That's
again, you weren't
100%
really
true.
supposed to know about that, so I might have to do a little bit of editing after the show.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to
Not
go
to the
onto my
show.
computer and edit it.
No, I'll go into your brain and edit it.
I like how this implies that editing my brain would like change the recording, like the actual file, like just
I
by
mean, do you really
extension.
watch the recordings after they're done?
That's a great question. I think we should probably just burn them.
Well, if you watch the
Put them right in
recordings,
the
then let me
recycle
know,
bin.
and then I'll just edit your brain every time you finish it. I don't want to edit
Right,
the
of
recording.
course.
I'm too lazy to do that.
You just edit people's brains while they're perceiving the recording and the video so
Yeah,
that like no one ever perceives the part that needs to be removed because that's less
it's
effort than just
easier.
editing the recording itself.
Yeah, it's easier to write up a
Famously.
program to do that for me.
This is the program like
They
you're
make
not even
worms
using
that can do
magic.
it now. No, they make worms that can do it now. You put the worm in someone's head, and the worm is like genetically coded to seek out neuron formation of a specific
Robert F.
nature.
Kennedy Jr.
Associated
brainworm like medicine
It's
advice.
associated with a specific memory. People don't realize this, but memories and contexts have specific patterns of neurons like that form in response to
Oh,
them.
of course.
And if you can actually manage to understand the way that the brain maps these things, you can engineer something to target the specific clusters of neurons that form to hold these memories.
Many great
And you
people
can
have been saying
dissolve
it.
them before they finish forming. And that's how you suppress the formation of specific memories.
I should also add, I think people just like straight up just like go to the Ukraine oil barrels and they just like dive a hand in and they just kind of like take entire handfuls of the oil and just shove it in their pocket. And they'll walk around like that.
I don't even think that's survivable. I don't think that's survivable. I think you moisten to death if you put your whole hand in Ukraine oil.
Well, I mean, it soaks
Well,
between the fingertips and whatnot, and,
I
and
just I
under the
think your
fingernails.
fingernails like slip off your hand. Yeah, he goes under
Oh
the
my
fingernails,
God, that
around
is a
each
horrifying thing
hair
to
of the back
imagine.
of the hand, inside the folds of the palm, and beneath the bones of the very wrist itself, in the cartilage, and between the veins.
That's disgusting.
And
God.
well,
Jesus Christ.
we're not going to get to the wiki rabbit hole. We're just going to be doing this the whole time.
No, I think you're right. I'm actually I'm trying to figure out what would be the most interesting thing to do because I was actually wrong a couple times. I thought Byford Dolphin was going to be a slam dunk because I thought it was going to be about an actual dolphin, and then it was just about like an oil rig, which it was still kind of interesting, but it wasn't as interesting as I thought it was going to be. The Reddit post here has a bunch of true crime ones, which I don't know if I feel like reading about true crime. There's stuff that's like especially messed up, like the murder of Junko Furuta, which like I don't think that's good for a silly podcast episode.
What about the Hello Kitty murder?
The Hello Kitty murder? Sure.
Yeah,
I don't even know
it's
what that
30.
is, so I actually might.
I don't
Yeah.
either.
You know what? I mean, I this is an actual
Oh
murder
no,
case, so I'm sure
never mind. I took a quick look at it. Maybe not that one.
Oh god. Yeah, I opened the Wikipedia page too.
Maybe not. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think.
let's. Oh god. Well, change of plans.
Oh, dude, but check this out. Go to 64 and just like read that out. Read the first paragraph.
Um, yeah, let me.
Don't
Okay.
think, just click it and read it. I want to know what happens. I'm curious.
I don't even check what it is
It's
before
not
I
that bad.
before I click it.
Yeah, just speed read it.
Okay, hold on a second. What number did you say? 60?
64.
Oh, like a Minecraft stack. Genius. Okay. Um,
The part in bold specifically.
what? What? What
Go for
is
it.
this?
Just go for it.
So, do you want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, read it out loud. Just go for it. See if you
Lytico
do without stumbling.
Bodig. Also Lytico Bodig, even though that's or Lytigo Bodig. Bodig. I was trying to figure out what was different about that. Disease. Lytico Bodig, also Lytico Bodig, also Lytigo Bodig disease, Guam disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinsonism, dementia complex, ALS-PTC, and Western Pacific amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinsonism, dementia complex is a rare terminal neurodegenerative disease or neurodegenerative disease of uncertain etiology, endemic to the Chamorro people of the island of Guam in Micronesia.
You could probably
I
stop there. I just wanted you to read the part in bold. I was trying to see like could he do it? Could he read it fast? Because
I
I didn't
tried.
even
I'm
understand most
I'm
of
a
the
natural fast reader, but like there's
Lytical
only so
Bodig,
much you can
also known
do.
as Lytical Bodig disease, Guam disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinsonian dementia complex, ALS, PDC, and Western Pacific amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, brain bank, brain on the moon, a real brain in miniature hospital van truck, Parkinson disease, cancer sclerosis, multiple fracture inteniums. It just breaks down for me when I try to
I like how it doesn't even. My favorite
comprehend
part
it.
about this introduction is that it doesn't even say like. It only puts also in quotes when it's referring to Litigo Bodig. Not the other names. It doesn't say also known as Guam disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinsonism, dementia complex, etc., etc.
No,
It
it's in
just says
addition.
also. It just says also Litigo Bodig. So that almost implies that Litigo Bodig disease and Guam disease and amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinsonism, dementia complex, etc., are all just part of the
And the
same name.
Western Pacific amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Parkinsonian dementia complex.
Like, or
Don't
they're all
forget that
grouped
one.
into the same thing.
But they're all different. They're all different.
They're all different, but they're all the same.
Wow. That's deep,
Okay,
dude.
wait. If you read further, it actually kind of makes sense. Litico and Bodig are Chamorro language words for two different manifestations of the same condition. ALS-PDC, a term coined by Asayo Hirano and colleagues in 1961, reflects its resemblance to amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, which is just regular ALS, Parkinson's disease, and Alzheimer's disease. So that makes more sense once you read further, but the beginning really throws you for a loop.
Yeah. I just like how many consecutive words it throws at you. It's something deeply satisfying.
This feels like something you would
Oh,
see in the German language.
oh wow. Yeah, absolutely. For like one specific thing. For like a part of one thing, not even the one
Yeah.
thing.
And it's very emotional too. You can't
Yeah.
forget that
Oh,
aspect of
absolutely. The
it.
Germans, famously emotional people. Trump said it best.
Yeah. They're one of the most emotional people I've ever met, and I've met a lot of
Most
people in my life
emotional-
because I've lived for a long time. But they're very
This
emotional, I
is he
might add.
got up. He got up on the podium, and the only thing he said, the only topic of discussion was the emotional ability of the Germans. He got up on this speech. He's like, "Let me take this moment to talk about the Germans. Some of my favorite people, some of the most emotional people. The Germans. They can cry on cue. They can make all kinds of noises. They can scream. They can get upset. I've seen Germans get upset very quickly over basically nothing, and I was always in awe over it. The face gets very red. They clench their fists. They become bald.
They
Vein
become
stands out.
bald.
On
What does that
the
even have
fists
to do with
become bald. The
emotion?
fists become bald. The head does not become bald, though sometimes the Germans do enter a period of such intense stress that they do suffer a male pattern baldness on the Norwood scale. We're talking maybe level 23, 24, something to that effect.
like how it just evolves into like him like listing statistics, which is like the most out of character part of that whole thing.
No, Trump always famously comes prepared to all his speeches.
I'm a very talented statistician, and I have a lot of data backing me up. I have some of the most data you've ever seen.
Something very elegant and satisfying about the way you said statistician there.
I mean, that's how you say it.
I mean, no, but just like I'm a very elegant statistician. Like it was melodic.
Almost like
It's
German
beautiful.
words.
Yeah, no, very almost approximating the splendor of the German language.
Right,
Do you
just
wanna
like how
check
Tony
out,
the Tiger approximated the fundamental muscular human-like structure.
Oh my god, impersonating the fundamental muscular.
Impersonating. I still find it really
As
funny
we
how
both-
like it specifically
Yeah.
said.
It's very vindictive.
like it acts like Tony the Tiger is doing this maliciously, like with an
Yeah,
ulterior
yeah.
motive.
And
Do
that
you wanna just
this is
quickly
like a
explain-
bad thing that he's doing as well. He's
Do you want-
impersonating it. He's stealing it.
Do you want to just like quickly explain the Tony the Tiger thing to anyone
Oh my
listening
god,
to
yeah,
this?
okay, sure. So the Tony the Tiger, the joke there is that the Tony the Tiger page, the history is an absolute mess. And I don't know if the page is still actively being vandalized, but in the past it had so many people changing it for all these different reasons. Like there was this one joker who kept saying Tony the Tiger was incarcerated at a maximum security correctional facility.
Yeah, they
for
did
his
it on the
crime.
Buck Cluck page for Buck Cluck from Chicken Little a couple times too, with like him like murdering a bunch of police.
That's funny as hell. But yeah, but one of my
Yeah, Buck Cluck
favorites
deserves that
was this
slander,
one
so.
person who was adamant about this, and I don't even know if he was doing it maliciously. Because the jail guy, you know it's a prank, you know he's just trolling.
Oh
But
yeah.
this guy, this other person, would edit the page to say that Tony the Tiger was humanoid, basically. Like they would specify that Tony the Tiger, like in the description, they would say that he's humanoid. But the way that they would refer it is that they would say, always like this, that he was impersonating the fundamental muscular human-like structure. And they would say this like 3 different times throughout the page. So, you know, sometimes it would last through other edits because it wasn't trolling, it wasn't vandalism, it was just weird.
Yeah,
But every now and then
people
someone
would
come
keep
along.
removing it, but the guy would just keep putting it back because like he
Exactly.
genuinely thought that was a good faith addition to the article. Or he was
Yeah,
trying to make it
so
one.
people kept removing it, he kept putting it back in all 3 instances. He changed the wording around slightly, but he'd leave it basically that way. And
Right.
eventually it stopped. But oh my god, it was great. It was a wild ride.
I kind of like how he specified the fundamental muscular human-like structure as if like that's the
Yeah.
only system humans have.
Not the fundamental skeletal human-like structure. He wouldn't
No,
dare
no,
do
no, no.
something like that.
No, he wouldn't go that far. You know,
No.
otherwise he'd
I
be
mean, he's a-
incarcerated in 2 different maximum security prisons.
Oh my At the same time, they'd like chop him in half, bring one to Rikers, bring the other to Alcatraz.
My thinking was they would just take the whole like first prison and just put it into a different prison. Like it would be like a Kinder egg. Like a Russian
I don't
nesting
know which
doll.
one is worse. They're both these are both very bad options.
imagine if you did something so horrible you got put in like a Russian nesting doll prison where like your cell is just inside of another cell and it just keeps yes-anding itself to like infinity.
Yeah, you're very either your cell ultimately comes out to be very big or you come out to be very small.
That's true. It's profound.
It is. Do you want to do the philosophy test?
Philosophy test?
Yeah,
where is that one?
There's a rumor that if you click the first link of every Wikipedia article, you eventually end up in the page for philosophy.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with litigo-boating disease since I'm already here. All right.
Yeah, I think that
I'm
would
gonna
be
call it-
neurodegenerative disease then.
Yes, it is.
click
And then
that,
after that,
click
it's the next one after that is just death.
No, I think it's
Okay, no,
neurons.
cell death.
Or
Cell
maybe-
death. Let me specify. It says cell death when I hover over it. Oh no, you're right. It is neurons. I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
Technically, I
neurons.
could go for the medical journal, see experimental neurology. Would that count as the first one? or no?
I'm not actually sure. I think maybe we could do either.
I'm just gonna go with
We could
neuron
do
since it's the first part of the actual main body of text. Um,
yeah. And
the
then I
next
guess
one after
American
that is
English.
American English.
We could do American English or we could do cell, but I don't know if it would break down if we did cell.
I think it's funny though if we just go with American English.
Yeah,
Is
let's
a
go
set
with
of
American English then.
varieties.
Okay.
Now I have to go to varieties. In
Yeah, let's go
sociolinguistics, a
varieties,
variety, also known as a
sociolinguistic.
sociolinguistics,
Okay. Is the
scientific,
descriptive and scientific.
science.
So let's go to scientific.
We're now in
Okay.
science. We now have to go to
You were now in
hypotheses.
science. Yeah. Hypotheses.
Now we have to go to
Explanation.
explanation. I like how you're following along with me, even though I'm not like
Yeah.
streaming this to you. I guess you also have the articles open.
I have it open.
Now we're in the
So now we
article
get,
for proposition.
oh no, explanation. We got to a set of statements.
And then statements
Okay. So
after
now we're in
statements is proposition. Yeah. And then we have meanings. In the
Yeah.
philosophy of
Yeah, there we go.
Over here.
Philosophy of language
And
is the
then
philosophical study. So we click philosophical study, and now we're in philosophy, baby. We're here.
Holy shit, it
We
actually
made it
worked.
home.
I think it took like 10 or 15.
No, but we got there. It doesn't say how long it's supposed to take. It just says eventually you'll get there.
No, you misunderstand. I'm saying I'm amazed that it took that few. Because I felt like it was going to take longer than that.
Actually, very fair, yeah. I was amazed at how many different things we got to, like hypotheses and then statements, but I could feel it kind of narrowing down.
Right, yeah. It's the Wikipedia article version of edging.
You take a dare with your friends. You go to a random page and you say, like, how many pages from here until philosophy? And whoever gets the closest number, they're the one who gets the free beer, you know?
That's true.
They get a cookie from the cookie jar.
The next one after this is existence.
Wait, where?
After philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no,
Unless you
wait,
want to do
ancient Greek. Ancient Greek, right.
Yeah, ancient Greek. Does ancient Greek go back to philosophy?
It might. No, it goes to Greek language.
Yeah, Greek language, but I think that's going to get us back to philosophy. Maybe.
Let's see if we can loop around again. We might be able to.
Yeah. Greek, modern Greek then.
Modern Greek. Do we click on endonym or dialects?
I think we would click on dialects.
Yeah, maybe. Actually, no. I think we've set the precedent that we can click the things in the brackets because we've done that before.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do endonym then.
Name.
Oh yeah, name is going to take us back to philosophy. A name is a term. Word.
I think after that, word.
Yep.
Language.
Element of language.
Communication.
Information. Transmission of information. Abstract concept.
Oh fuck. Abstraction is that thing from Digital Circus.
Oh my god, guys. Shout out to Gooseworks, close personal friend of mine who's probably watching.
Famously. Yeah.
Famously, she does this.
Famously, she watches The Sweet Space.
Yeah. She's made so many posts about it.
Guys, we're gonna get Digital Circus, the Digital Circus finale in UK theaters, in European theaters. We're gonna do it. We're gonna be the deciding factor.
Sweet Space is gonna make a cameo in episode 37 of the Amazing Digital Circus.
I like how this implies it's gonna go for like 37 episodes.
No, I heard from Gooseworks herself. She phoned me on the radio machine. The telegram.
It was all lies. The thing about it ending at episode 9. They're gonna do like a bunch more.
Yeah, she's just. I mean, she's playing for the crowd there, but the truth is,
that's true.
It's gonna be exactly 37.
Or they just skip immediately from 9 to 37.
I mean, she didn't say how they'd reach it, so it's possible.
It's true. Okay, after abstraction, we get rules.
This is weird. I shouldn't pretend I know people. Yeah, okay, so we get rules. And then premises.
Then we go back to proposition.
Okay, all right. Proposition are the meaning.
So we're just gonna go back to philosophy. We're just gonna go back to philosophy.
We're back
again. So we've actually established like a loop here.
Yep. Rodin's the thinker shows us that we found the way.
It's fucked up.
Terrible, yeah.
Okay, what else should we do with this? What the fuck is the Sylvia Plath effect? I kind of want to know what that is. Like with some of these, like the Kennedy curse, I know that it's just like a bunch of Kennedys dying, but like, what is the Sylvia Plath effect? I've never heard of this
Let's see.
before. The Sylvia Plath effect is the phenomenon that poets are more susceptible to mental illness than other creative writers. I don't think that's true, because have you ever spoken to
I
any creative writers? I think everyone gets mentally ill.
yeah. I don't
I,
know. Maybe they thought back in the day that like people who maybe it's not really a causation, but more of a correlation that people who are tend to become poets like in society tend to also feel kind of disconnected from that society and therefore more prone to manifest as someone who like has some kind of deficiency or like isn't
it's possible, I
integrated, I
suppose.
guess.
The effect is named after author Sylvia Plath, who died by suicide at the age of 30. Um, so I supporting
I
evidence.
mean,
I don't know about this.
it
It
says
feels like a
here,
correlation over causation kind of thing to me. Like,
yeah, like it says here, if you want me to read one of the sentences, Kaufman's work
sure.
further demonstrated that female poets were more likely to experience mental illness than any other class of writers. In addition, female poets are more likely to be mentally ill than other eminent women, such as politicians, actresses, and artists. But I think the first part here, female poets are more likely to experience mental illness than
Could
any
that
other
not
class
just
of
be
writers.
because like women have it harder in society? I feel like
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, women and female, like, poets themselves are usually people who are trying to be outspoken or people who don't feel like society's doing right or are just trying to express themselves in a way that most people tend not to perceive as like super normal. So if you're also a woman doing that, it's like even worse because you're naturally in the position of someone who is not as equally treated. So I feel like that's more a symptom of a greater thing than just them being a poet and that automatically
yeah,
meaning
them
that
being a
they need
poet
to
does
hide
not seem
him.
like the deciding factor for them being mentally ill. It almost seems
Yeah.
like a chicken before the egg situation, that it almost led into them becoming a poet. Because poets seem to emerge from those kinds of people more so than they become those sorts of people, I guess. I I also think like with all the like female poets and stuff being like considered mentally ill, uh what are they basing that off of? Because there was like a very real trend back in the day for like psychiatrists to just like diagnose women with like this general mental illness thing that everyone was grouped into because they didn't really feel like going more in depth. Like, um, woman comes to you with some sort of mental issue, you're just like I don't know, you're just neurotic or you're not neurotic. Neurotic's the
You have
wrong word.
moon sickness, babe. You gotta stop going outside.
I mean, there's a famous short story about this, the yellow wallpaper one. It's like I'm trying to think of the word, but there was like I think like a lot of doctors back in the day would like just like diagnose all these women with like fucking like general mental ill disorder or mentally ill disorder. Not that's not a real thing, but like the spirit of what I'm saying is they wouldn't differentiate or like look into it more carefully. They would just be like, "Oops, well, you're mentally ill. Fuck you," because it was very
Yeah,
discriminatory.
they wouldn't do a very good job of actually diagnosing what the problem was, and the treatments that they prescribed are usually quite harmful. So,
Yeah.
one of the premises of the yellow wallpaper, I mean, well, not premise, I mean, it actually happened basically. That I mean, the person went through a very real similar situation. Is that she was diagnosed as having some kind of a problem, and the solution was to basically confine her by herself, like almost basically the equivalent of in-house solitary confinement.
Which is really
And
not good for mental health. I
that's
think we
just
know
going to
that now.
exacerbate everything. Yeah. So she ended up writing the yellow wallpaper as like a way to basically, externalize her feelings of helplessness and sickness. And I believe that upon reading the story, The Yellow Wallpaper, that actually convinced her husband that he was not doing the right thing here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like he read that and he's like, oh my God, yeah, my wife is
Oh,
sick. I
shit.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't be confining my wife to, to fucking
Yeah, like this
solitary.
is bad. She's like talking about ripping up the wallpaper and like
This
walking
is not
around the
good stuff,
room and
man.
yeah.
He
This is
famously
bad.
said exactly that.
Yeah.
Like,
This is he said, yo, this is not sick.
Yo, this is not sick. And then Adolf Hitler showed up out of the wallpaper and he was like, well, I beg to differ.
Adolf thinks that, and he says, "Yeah, but Adolf, you think everything is sick, so your opinion's kind of meaningless here.
Yeah,
Like, if
because
I
you're
want,
sick,
if I
Adolf.
want your stance, I'll ask for it." And then Adolf went back
Yeah,
into
go
the
back in
world.
the wallpaper, Adolf. No, nobody asked you.
My God, you
I
got to
like
be
how this
tough but
implies
firm.
that like the woman wasn't actually mentally ill at all. It was just fucking Adolf Hitler in the wallpaper.
I think I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it was both. Like Adolf, I don't think Adolf had anything to do with the woman messing around with the wallpaper. He's just
That's
there.
true. He was just a
He's hanging
spectator.
out.
He was waiting for his
And
moment to strike.
he's there hiding from the United States and Winston
Really?
Churchill, who he still thinks is alive.
Yeah, he thinks Winston Churchill is still alive. Which, I mean, he has reason to believe that since he himself is still alive in this scenario. Although, I think the
Yeah.
yellow wallpaper takes place before World War II. So, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't even have the brains to come up with the lore to justify that. Then he's just
It's an
there. He's
1892
timeless.
short story. I
Yeah.
think it was before World War II.
He
It's
was.
like,
He's like he
I
probably
think
met the
Hitler
woman
was
who
like
owned
a
Russia.
child back then. Like, I think he was less than 10 years old. Let me look this up.
You know, you know it is. He when he was a baby, he
He was
the
born
woman who's owned
1889,
Russia,
so he
the
was
woman
three.
who's
He was 3 years old, if not
the
two.
woman the woman who's owned Russia since 1814 approached Hitler, and when he was a baby, and she cast a spell on him to make him like historically timeless. So he was
Historically
able to do
timeless.
things before his
That's
time.
crazy, man. That is fucking fun. Okay, so apparently, I just clicked on this because I was curious. Apparently, the actual thing that she was dealing with at the time, as in like Charlotte Anna Perkins Gilman, the writer of Yellow Wallpaper, it was actually postpartum depression, but like nobody really looked into that or cared about looking into that at the time, so that was not known back then. Um, and instead of that being treated, she was, yeah, as you said, she was confined to an isolated area, which is like, I mean, it seems obvious to us now that that's like the worst possible fucking thing you can do to someone who's mentally ill. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's a specific word. There was a specific word I had in mind for like what people would generally diagnose women as back then, but like I don't remember what it is. Like it was something like mania. I'm trying to.
It was like I think this is not gospel here. I think they had a bunch of different names, but one of the ones that I
Probably.
remember was lunacy.
Lunacy would definitely be up there. Yeah.
The idea there, because lunacy, and we still use the term lunatic, but the
Yeah, but
idea
not
was,
really in a scientific sense.
yeah, but lunatic used to be derived from the word luna, which meant moon, and
Right.
it was conveyed the idea that like the moon made women crazy, and I think that was connected with like witchcraft stuff as well.
Wait, let me look this up. Oh, hysteria. Female hysteria. That
There
was
we
the
go.
one I was
That's
thinking of.
another one. That's a big one.
Yeah. Um, that makes sense to me. The word just slipped my mind for some reason. It was coated in Ukraine oil and it slid out.
Oh man, you should be
It's fucked
letting
up.
your words hang around Ukraine oil. Imagine spilling all your words in there and you never fish them out again. They keep slipping through your fingers.
See, the Germans are very smart in order to keep their words away from Ukraine oil, because if even one of their words got Ukraine oil, that would basically be like a railgun, because it would be like so big and
It
it would
would
be so
dislodge
fast.
all the other words they've meticulously laid out. Like Ich bin Klempenheimer de Pfeffer Waffenheimer, but
The
then if
Russians are also
even just the
incredibly
Heimer,
lucky to only have like 8 words, because like that limits the amount of
yeah,
words that can be exposed to Ukraine oil.
but like if even just the Heimer part is dunked into the oil, you place it back into the single. What the fuck are we talking about? Like it just occurred to me, this is a nothing burger conversation.
But it's funny though.
Anyway, if you take the Sodenheimer and you add it to the rest of the words, not to be confused with the Oppenheimer, the Sodenheimer is different. It will dislodge the foundation of the entire phrase and render it meaningless. And the Germans always they love having meaning. They don't like nothingness.
You know what would be a funny one to look into? For Wikipedia rabbit holes. I just found this one
Let's see.
list of micronations. Micronations,
Ooh, all right.
sometimes also referred to as model countries and new country projects, are small, self proclaimed entities that assert their sovereignty as independent states, but which are not acknowledged as such by any of the recognized sovereign states or by any supranational organization. They should not be confused with microstates, which are recognized independent states of a small size, nor should they be confused with unrecognized states, which are of more geopolitical significance because they exercise clear control of actual territory to the exclusion of widely recognized countries. So basically, micronations are, and I used to be into this stuff like several years ago because I thought it was kind of interesting. So I'm kind of reviving an old interest. Micronations are basically you just feel like declaring a new country in your house. You decide you have a new country, and then you just say that you have a new country, and nobody actually recognizes it. But like you get to, I guess you get to claim you have one.
So it's not like Sentinel Island because that's like officially more or less recognized as a separate jurisdiction.
Well, it's not a separate country, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's not under like the control of like whatever country it's in. I think India, right?
I'm not sure the location. I just know
It's
there's this whole
either
thing where like
it's
Sentinel
either
Island is
India
essentially its
or
own territory.
yeah, it's India. I thought it was India or
Occasionally,
Myanmar.
occasionally they send drones down there, but the people tend to not try to knock them out of the sky and destroy them.
So apparently there's two micronations in Antarctica, if you can believe it. There's a Grand
Okay.
Duchy of Flangrensis, um, founded as a short term. You know, I'm gonna send you the article so you can look at this
Okay.
yourself. Founded as a short term hobby, Flangrensis eventually became active in raising awareness of climate change, particularly as it affects polar ice and glaciers. I'm curious to know if any of the founders of the Grand Duchy of Flangrensis even lived in Antarctica, because the only people who go down there are like research scientists, and there's like a couple thousand of them at any given time, or if I'm
Don't
not wrong.
maybe I'm stupid. Don't Eskimos live there, or they only live in like the other side of that planet?
No, you would not in
No,
Antarctica. Like the
because I think
Inuit
there's
and,
like a
and
North
indigenous
Pole.
peoples in the north live in like northern territories, not Antarctica. They live in like Alaska, they live in Yukon, they live in Nunavut, etc., etc. All the Canadian
So can
islands.
you refresh my memory on this? So there's a North Pole and a South Pole, obviously, but there's like penguins and seals and polar bears, and I think they only live on like basically one end. They don't live on both.
Polar bears live in the Arctic. Penguins live in
Oh,
the
okay.
Antarctic.
So they live in the South Pole.
Yes, penguins do. Not polar bears.
Okay. And the Eskimo people would also live in the South Pole, or how does that work? Because
No,
I mean,
no,
there
they
are
live.
people who live.
Yeah, no. It's the north where like all of those indigenous peoples are. So
Oh,
they would
okay.
be in
But they don't live
Alaska.
like they don't live just out on
I'm
the ice on the lake, basically, I guess.
I mean, sometime. I'm pretty sure there aren't any people who are like native to Antarctica though. Like that was like an uncolonized like a truly like not like an uncolonized continent as in like oh there's people living here but they don't matter so we're gonna take it. I mean like literally no one lived there until it was found, and the only people who go down there are like research scientists. I could be wrong about this. Did Antarctica have indigenous peoples? I'm pretty confident that it does not. Did
I
Antarctica
mean,
have
there's a fair amount
indigenous
of
people?
setup that you would need to exercise to be able to live there. But I
Nope.
mean, people
No,
have
no, no, no,
lived
no.
in ice ages. I know.
It says that there was never an indigenous population there. I mean animals, sure, but not people.
Is there an indigenous population now?
What do you mean
Has
in
anything changed?
Antarctica?
Yeah.
No. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
answer was there has never been. So I assume that includes
Okay.
now.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
This is an interesting little side topic we got onto. Um
Yeah.
yeah, Antarctica being the one continent that hasn't had an indigenous population ever is kind of interesting. Um now that I think about it, because like every other continent does have that.
So
I
even
mean,
the
there's
South Pole has indigenous peoples?
the South Pole is in Antarctica,
Oh
so
no, you
no.
said Antarctica. No, my bad.
Yeah, I guess that could that be part of why there's like conspiracy theories about like fucking like Agartha being under Antarctica and shit? Because like people are baffled by the fact that there aren't any people there. Like, well,
Dude, I'm sorry, but all I know about Agartha is Agartha Obby and Roblox.
it's just like that idea of like fucking giants living in like a hollow earth underneath like the world, and the entrance to it is in Antarctica.
Man.
It's pretty bizarre. A lot of it's also
Man,
pretty
you
racist.
wanna
I'm
play
not gonna
trap
lie.
door.
Uh,
Yeah.
but anyway, moving on. There's also Grand Duchy of West Arctica, which was founded by a guy named Travis McHenry. West Arctica claims most of Mary Bird Land, which is like a section of Antarctica. The micronations Melchizedek and Tolosa also assert ownership of this area, even though they're not on this list. Okay. Empire of Atlantium is a progressive micronation in Australia claiming a minuscule amount of territory in New South Wales, but it also advocates for the abolition of international borders and free migration. It's pretty interesting. Principality of Snake Hill, a family in New South Wales who were unable to afford their taxes, seceded from Australia.
Nice. Yeah, how'd that work out? Does it say?
I don't know. I'm going to click on the article. So the history of Principality of Snake Hill. It says it's located near Mudgee in New South Wales, Australia. It apparently has hundreds of citizens and claims land the size of Monaco. And it claimed independence on September 2003. So it's been around for going up on 23 years now.
Wow.
The history says
Okay, so they must be doing something.
the Jensen family of New South Wales could no longer afford to pay taxes, and after litigation over a mortgage and being inspired by the Principality of Hutt River, they declared independence on 2 September 2003. The micronation was featured in Lonely Planet's Micronations, the Lonely Planet Guide to Homemade Nations, published in 2006. My question, though, is surely the Australians didn't just like let them not pay taxes because they declared a micronation, right?
There has to be something more to that, you know?
Well, I'm going to scroll down.
There's some kind of court case.
Helena Jensen took leadership of Snake Hill after the death of her husband, Paul Jensen, in 2010. That same year, her daughter, Paula, was invited by Judy Lattis of Macquarie University and George Cruikshank of the Empire of Atlantium, which is another micronation, by the way.
Micronations unite, form a macronation.
I think Atlantia might have been the one that advocates for open borders. Yeah, it was. Okay. I already read that one. The financial issues that prompted the Jensens to, as a guest speaker of the Inter-Micronational Summit Polynation at Dangar Island in Sydney. So they've got like a whole like group meetup for like micronation leaders. It's like a mini UN. The financial issues that prompted the Jensens to secede remained unaddressed and eventually led the Bank of Queensland to foreclose on their home and embassy. Embassy in quotation marks, by the way.
On their embassy, they marched on foreign soil.
That's fucked up. The embassy
crazy.
was a property named Castle Hill in Melaleuca Close in 2011. Sale of the property was frustrated by the Snake Hillers' demands for caveats and their argument that the bank's actions were outside the jurisdiction of the court, and that it was a matter of international law and must be referred to the High Court of Australia or the International Court of Justice. Can you imagine being an ICJ judge and you have to review the fucking Snake Hill case?
Oh my god.
The
How
Australians
did it
have
go?
no
I
right.
really want to know now.
The Australians have no right to march on this micronation, guys. Who says you have to pay your taxes?
What? Surely, every Tom, Dick, and Jane can't just declare a micronation. I mean, the government has to set a precedent. I feel like, right? Like, because otherwise, anyone.
Well,
can just
otherwise anyone can do it, and then there won't be a nation
Yeah.
because it will all be micronations.
Exactly.
The claims were dismissed by a judge at the Supreme Court of New South Wales in late February 2011. I think that answers your question.
Oh wow.
Paula Jensen continued to appear frequently in courts within New South Wales between 2011 and 2014. So it seems like they've gone quiet since then.
Yeah.
I wonder if they
The
ever did have to
Snakehill
pay their
fandom's been
taxes.
real quiet since the Supreme Australian Court decided they don't exist.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, I mean, anyone.
That's cultural erasure. That's really disgusting.
Yeah, as if Australia doesn't do enough of that already. Oh god.
First the emu, now this.
I wasn't even referring to the emu. I was referring to like the suppression of like Australian indigenous peoples, which is like an actual serious thing. I probably shouldn't be comparing like like the Australians foreclosing on someone's house because they wouldn't pay their taxes to like cultural erasure. But like this whole situation is just so fucking funny though. Like did they ever have to actually pay the taxes? I think they might have gotten away with it, but with their house foreclosed. And that's the end of the story. Are you alive, by the way? You seem to have cut out. Your voice has been silenced. It's fucked up. I think they actually got to you. The Australians, they noticed that you weren't paying your taxes, and even though you don't live in Australia, Australia just kind of happens to like extract tax from everyone in the world, no matter what nation they're in. So at the end of the day, anything can happen. Welcome back, Andrew. Australia has untaxed you, I suppose.
Yeah, launch the missiles right now. We've
Launch the
received the code. Are
missiles.
you ready?
Oh,
Are you
fuck.
ready?
We're gonna start an
4,
international incident.
2, 7.
Maybe let's not do this.
Okay, right. If you say so. I trust your word. If you think that it's not advisable, then we won't
I think it might not be advisable to destroy the world.
Well, not just the world, just one part of the world.
Just one part of the world.
Yeah.
The thing is, once you launch a nuke, everyone's kind of going to be launching nukes like that. It just goes that way.
But I mean, they struck first. We'll be like, oh, they struck first. We'll tell the principal.
Yeah, they nuked your Discord connection first, and because of that, it's justified to launch actual missiles.
That's an act of war. That's disruption of communication.
Exactly. No, you get it. You understand.
It's compromising to the nation.
It's compromising to the I don't even know what nation, but it is compromising.
To the micronation of this podcast.
We need to start a micronation. Sweet Spacia.
Yeah.
It's official, guys. We can just do that, like we're gonna get on the list.
Yeah, we can. We've already done it. It's so easy.
We've already done it.
Simply by declaring that we've done it. We've done it.
Exactly. The territory is like specifically. The territory is just wherever we're walking. It's a mobile country.
Yeah, it's amazing. The technology these days.
It's impressive what can be done. List of premature obituaries seems like a funny one. Should we read that?
Yeah, let's read that one. Is it people who like fake their death or people who...
It's an obituary of someone who was still alive at the time of publication.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That's
examples include that of inventor and philanthropist Alfred Nobel, whose premature obituary condemning him as a merchant of death for creating military explosives may have prompted him to create the Nobel Prize. Black nationalist Marcus Garvey, whose actual death may have been precipitated by reading his own obituary. What the fuck? That feels like something I can't just gloss over. I have to look more into that. Like, what do you mean he died because he read his obituary?
He had a heart attack over how scary it was.
It's like when the Grim Reaper shows up and tells you you're gonna die, and then like you can't avoid fate. Like,
just real quick, do you occasionally hear me clicking if I do stuff? If I do this, does it
do what?
Do you hear that?
I do hear faint clicking in the background, but it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, all right, because I can stop that. Sometimes I click around, but I don't want to corrupt the podcast.
That's okay. Yeah, no, I gotcha. That's okay. And also actor Abe Vigoda, who was the subject of so many death reports and rumors that a website was created to state whether he was alive or dead. What the fuck happened with this guy? How did people get so confused about this? Okay, so Abraham Vigoda was an American actor known for his portrayals of Salvatore Tessio in The Godfather, and also Phil Fish in both Barney Miller and Fish.
That's a fantastic name. Can you send that to me, Phil Fish?
It's not his real name, it's a character's name, but...
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the article for this guy.
A little disappointed, but sure, yeah, that's fine.
There was a guy named like William Goldfish though, if I'm not wrong.
That's
He was
beautiful.
uh maybe it wasn't William Goldfish. It was someone Goldfish. Because it was one of the guys who formed the company that would eventually like merge into Metro Goldwyn Mayer, the film company. Um, that would then become Amazon and MGM Studios. It was formed by combining Metro Pictures, Goldwyn Pictures, and Louis B. Mayer Pictures. And Goldwyn Pictures was founded by a guy named Samuel Goldwyn, but he was born as I don't know how to pronounce this. It's Yiddish. SZMU. I think it's like Shmuel or something, and then
Check it out.
Geldfish, which is like, well, I can send you the article again.
Oh, okay.
But the important part is this was like his Polish or his Yiddish name. His anglicized name was Samuel Goldfish, and he later changed it to Goldwyn because I guess he thought it was embarrassing to be named Goldfish.
Yeah, they really punked him at Ellis Island, I guess.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
I mean, who decides that your name is going to be Goldfish and gets away with it? That's pretty messed
Well,
up.
I think Geldfish literally means like in Polish, or maybe it's Yiddish. I don't know which language it is, but in one of those languages, I think it does literally translate to goldfish, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
But
he
that is still
obviously
really
he
fucked up. Like the
he
immigration
didn't agree
officials,
with it because he.
yeah, the immigration
Look at
officials
that.
really could have thrown him a bone and just given him a better name. They could have just said, "Oh, we don't know what this means. Let's just call you like Optimus Death Slayer 5000 or something."
Optimus. I don't know if that would have been much of a bone.
Yeah, I don't know. They could have at least given him something else though.
Yeah,
They could have
Optimus.
named
Let's
him.
call him Megatron 6000,
They,
Destroyer of Worlds.
Can you imagine if like one of the like most famous like film producers who like formed like a massive film studio was just casually named like Samuel Optimus Death Slayer 5000?
Powerful. That's
That would
really
be an
powerful.
awesome name for a studio. Optimus Death Slayer 5000 films. The problem is once they reach 5,000 films, they
What you're
can't
gonna
make
get.
anymore or they're sued for false advertising.
Oh no, they rebrand like what Fox did. They do Optimus
Oh
Death Slayer
yeah,
7000 films.
they start doing 5001 and then 5002. They just update it with every new film that comes out. The Wikipedia article has gotten really confusing. The history section has just like ballooned and ballooned with every change. This kind of reminds me of the fact that like I once saw like a Twitter post, or at least I think it was on Twitter, where someone was saying instead of doing movie titles, we should just like name movies by like the number of when they were made. So like instead of having a specific name, like a movie would just be called movie number and then like the which one, and then like it would just be called like movie number 1 million if it was like the 1 millionth film ever to release instead of having a title. And I think that's such a terrible idea that it loops back around to being funny. Like, can you imagine going to the theater and all of the films just say movie number and then a number?
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Very classy.
That feels like one of those like gags you would get if you were in like an alternate universe story or like a multiverse story where like you go to another world and like the conventions of society have completely changed in ways that make no sense to you but make perfect sense to the people living there. So like you walk into an alternate universe like cinema and all the movies are just called like movie number 999.
It's like absolutely Orwellian.
Well, they don't know it's Orwellian. They would think we have it Orwellian with our like
No, but I mean
complex
they're wrong.
names.
They're wrong. We're correct. We're correct because we're
That's true.
us, and
That's true.
we're usually us is usually correct.
I wonder how they come up with like film titles in Russia with only 8 words though. That's a question that's on my mind now.
I
Do
don't
they just
think I
like
think that they use like smell-o-vision, you know?
you just intuit the name of the movie when you're watching it?
Yeah.
And of course all the dialogue in the movie is portrayed through like the complex Russian dance routine. So and it's very evocative.
Yeah. I mean all the people they recognize what the actors are saying through their rich body language on screen.
Exactly.
But what usually I think what they do to actually, I said smell it, and that was a mistake. I think what they do in order to tell people what movies they'll be seeing is they have a guy or an animation of a guy doing the dance, and they
Right.
play that on like on screen outside, and then the Russian people, they look at it, they nod importantly, and then they enter the establishment when they see
Yeah.
what's in
As
store.
opposed to nodding unimportantly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you can't
they
make that
don't. The,
distinction.
the Russians are not the kinds of people that would waste their nods. They use nods when it's right to
It's
do
very
so,
sparing.
and they make good use of it as well.
I'm just going to read the mistaken reports of death for this Abe Vigoda dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Prior to his
While
actual
you do
death in
that,
January
I'm gonna shut the door.
2016. Okay. Prior to his actual death in January 2016, Vigoda was a repeated victim of mistaken death announcements. These led to jokes, often with Vigoda as a participant. In 1982, People magazine mistakenly referred to Vigoda as dead. At the time, Vigoda, age 60, was performing in a stage play in Calgary. He took the mistake with good humor, posing for a photograph published in Variety, in which he is sitting up in a coffin, holding the erroneous image issue of People. Jeff Jarvis, a People employee at the time, said that the magazine's editors were known for messing up stories, and one of them repeatedly inserted the phrase "the late" in reference to Vigoda, even after a researcher correctly removed it. The erroneous version was what went to print. I like how this is
He's
almost like
impersonating the fundamental sentient structure.
you thought the same thing. I was about to bring up the
Yeah,
Tony the Tiger.
he just kept doing it. That's funny as hell.
Abe Vigoda was impersonating the fundamental alive structure.
Fundamental sen Yeah, the fundamental organic matrix of the humanoid being.
Oh
Shame
god.
on him for daring such a thing.
I admire the aura of like him just posing for a photograph in Variety, sitting up in a coffin, holding the issue that declared him dead. Like that goes hard.
Yeah.
I
Or
would
what he
hope to
could
have
do
the
is
aura to do the same thing.
he could pose for a picture where he's like sitting at the table reading it, and they have another guy behind him with like a knife raised in like a stabbing position. Like he's reading that his obituary is that day, and that the guy behind him is like death itself, ready to bring it into reality.
Yeah, he does like a full like photo shoot. He hires a guy to play death. Like he really goes the whole 9 yards. Like they always
Chat, is
said
this
that about
tough?
him.
I think it
They
is.
always said that about Abe Vigoda. He always committed to the bit.
Yeah, he
He
always
committed to
went
the
that
bit so
Abe
he committed to the
always
bit
went
so
the extra
hard that
mile.
eventually he actually did die.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you were gonna go in that direction. That's so funny. He could... He's such a prankster, dude. He's dead now, but if someone ever actually got the joke, he would come back to life.
Yeah, the moment now that we revealed it, the moment we put this podcast up, he's just gonna pop out of the grave and he's gonna be like, "I got you good. I was dead for 10
Yeah,
whole years."
yeah.
Because it says he
That's
died
a
in
knee
2016,
slapper.
which that's impressive because I think he was what 94 when he died. That is a good age to live to.
Yeah. Not quite as
Um,
good as 48, but it's still pretty good.
yeah, it's a high number. It may not be among the highest numbers in the world. It's
Yeah.
certainly no 43, but like it's something to be proud of.
No, no, no. I'm gonna pull rank here. As the owner of this podcast, I hereby declare that 48 is a bigger number than 43.
Okay,
And
hold on.
if you
I
say
never
no,
invoked that argument. I just said 43. I just implied 43 was a much bigger number than 94.
but you implied that 43 was a match with 48 because I
I
brought
actually
up
did not
48,
imply that.
and then
I
well,
do
no, but the
believe
way
that, but I
that
did not imply that in that sentence.
well, let me tackle this part first. The way that you implied it, at least in my knowledge, is that after mentioning 43, the 48, the obviously larger number, what you did
Yeah,
was
sure.
you brought up
Got a load of this guy.
43 in your counter argument. You're talking over me now. You're using
It
your
wasn't a counter argument. I was saying the same thing you did. I use an example of a larger number than 94 as you did because I admit that 48 is a larger number than 94 in tandem with you using it to demonstrate how 94 may not be either of these numbers, but it is still an impressively large number. I was not
But I mean,
countering
if you were
anything. I was speaking in tandem with you.
But I mean, if the whole point was just to say that it's a lower number, I mean that it's a lower number than this other hypothetical number, then why didn't you exaggerate? Why didn't you introduce a higher number? Why would you say the same thing I did just to introduce a lower number? I mean, that's
Well, I
less
don't know.
worthy of
The
attention
inner
even.
machinations of my brain are a mystery. I don't think we'll ever know.
Well, I think I have a hypothesis, if you'll pardon me,
Okay.
and the hypothesis is a method of looking at the meaning of things and assuming the
Which
meaning of
is
things,
a
and
part of
which
philosophy.
is itself a term. Anyway, what
Sorry.
the what I think you were doing is I think you were just trying to subtly inject the premise that 43 is a larger number than 48, and therefore you still had to make your statement because it was still of importance even after I made mine. And I take issue with that. I take umbrage with that.
Okay. Your
All right.
objection is noted.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Okay, now we can move. Now we can move on. I think I've said
in
my piece.
1987, the same mistake was made for when a reporter for WWROR Channel 9, serving the New York metropolitan area, mistakenly referred to him as the late Abe Vigoda. She realized and corrected her mistake the same day, or the next day, not the same day. He had been the subject of many running gags pertaining to the mistaken reports of his death. In 1997, Vigoda appeared in Good Burger as the character Otis, the titular restaurant's
Oh, I
French
know
fry
that
man.
movie.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
saw it. Well, I know that I know it through Nostalgia Critic. I've never actually seen it myself.
Here to remember it, so you don't have to.
Yep.
As the character Otis, the titular restaurant's French fry man. Several jokes were made about his high age, including the character Otis saying, "I should have died years ago." That same year, he was shopping at Bloomingdale's in Manhattan when the salesman remarked, "You look like Abe Vigoda, but you can't be Abe Vigoda because he's dead." A late night with David Letterman skit. Can you imagine, like, shopping and having that interaction? You've died, so you
What I,
cannot possibly be you. That almost feels
what's
like the start of like
crazy?
a Reddit horror story. But like, you know, obviously with the context that this is just like a mistaken like joke.
I'm a little more surprised that someone said to him, "You look like this guy," but I know for a fact this guy's dead. Like,
Yeah, I like how he felt the
it's
need to
just not a
specify
reaction.
that.
Yeah. No,
Like
it's just
Norm.
I feel like most people, at least these days, they would have just said, "You look like this person," or maybe they just wouldn't have said anything at all, or like, "You look like this person," but I feel like I don't think that person's alive anymore. But I guess that exact phrase of like, "You look like this guy, but you can't be this guy," like this guy's dead, you know? I don't know.
It's very blunt. Like
Yeah.
a late night with David Letterman skit showed Letterman trying to summon Vigoda's ghost, but Vigoda walked in and declared, "I'm not dead yet, you pinhead." At a New York Friars Club roast of Rob Reiner that Vigoda attended, Billy Crystal joked, "I have nothing to say about Abe. I was always taught to speak well of the dead." In May 2001, a website was created to report whether Vigoda was alive or dead. It eventually went offline no later than 2023. I like how it was still up like several years after he actually died.
Well, people needed to know.
Yeah.
I
They
think I should
needed
have stayed
seven
up forever.
they needed 7 years just to make sure.
I
Like
honestly
otherwise it
think I
wouldn't have
should have
been
stayed up
conclusive enough.
forever. Is he dead? And it just says yes. Maybe they thought it was like disrespectful to the family. I mean, that's valid. But I don't know. He seemed like a bit of a jokester himself. I think he might have appreciated it.
Yeah, he probably would have, honestly. And then, in addition, in 2005, a tongue-in-cheek Firefox extension was released with the sole purpose of telling the browser's user of Vigoda's status, continuing the gag. That's awesome. I gotta
I wonder if
download
it's
this,
still
man.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's dead or not. It's not conclusive, so I gotta find out. Only this Firefox addition could tell me. Uh,
What's the? How do you spell the guy's name again? Oh yeah, Vic. I got it. I
Abe
got it.
Vigoda.
Vigoda.
Continuing the gag, he frequently appeared on Late Night with Conan O'Brien to make fun of his status, including a guest appearance on the show's final episode. At the 1998 New York Friars Club roast of Drew Carey, with Vigoda in the audience,
Oh,
Jeff
the
Ross joked,
extension is no
"My one
longer.
regret is that Abe Vigoda isn't alive to see this." He followed that with, "Drew, you go to Vegas. What's the over-under on Abe Vigoda?" Oh, are you saying the Firefox extension is gone? It's not there anymore?
Yeah, it's no longer there. That's upsetting.
Well, it doesn't say what it's called, so, like, we don't
No, I
know.
just searched like Abe Vigoda Firefox extension, and I saw results, but I clicked them, and the page doesn't open. Like the doesn't work.
It's a tragedy. This is
It
a
looks
modern
like a
tragedy.
legacy link. Yeah.
On January 23, 2009, Vigoda appeared on The Today Show. He said he was doing well, joked about previous reports of his death, and announced that he had just completed the voiceover for an H&R Block commercial to air during the Super Bowl. Vigoda and Betty White, both 88 years old, appeared in Game, a Snickers commercial that debuted during Super Bowl XLIV on February 7, 2010. The synopsis made fun of the advanced age of the actors. The Super Bowl ad meter poll respondents rated the ad the highest of any shown during the game. On October 31, 2013, at age 92, Vigoda again defied rumors of his demise by appearing on stage with the American rock band Phish in Atlantic City. Not to be confused with Phil Fish. Don't make that mistake. It's also spelled with a PH. In Atlantic City, New Jersey, during a performance of the band's song Wombat from their 2014 album Fuego, which mentions Vigoda by name. That seems to be the last thing he did before he actually died, at least in terms of like referencing his death. So now I want to look at
I mean,
Marcus.
is him dying also referencing his death?
I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean,
In
that's
a
the
way,
ultimate.
you know?
It's the ultimate conclusion to the bit, if you think about it.
Yeah.
I need to look at Okay, so I clicked on Marcus Garvey because remember how it said Marcus Garvey died after reading his own obituary or something like that? I want to see
Yeah.
what that's about.
I want to know the
In
deal
January
there.
1940, Garvey suffered a stroke which left him largely paralyzed. His secretary, Daisy White, took on responsibility for his care. At this point, George Padmore spread rumors of Garvey's death. This led to many... I don't know who George Padmore is. I guess he was also like he was a leading Pan-Africanist, journalist and author. Okay. Spread rumors of Garvey's death. This led to many newspapers publishing premature obituaries in late May 1940, many of which he read. So it wasn't just one. He was reading these constantly.
Oh my god.
Imagine that.
And that was enough to do him in?
Well, at some point, I guess. According to his secretary, on the second day of reading through his pile of obituaries, Garvey suffered another massive stroke and died 2 weeks later at the age of 52 on 10 June 1940. He was really dedicated to it, too. Like, he was reading all of them, like they were fan letters or something.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe, I don't know. I mean, he had a stroke. It could have been, maybe he would have had a follow-up at some point later, but this just accelerated it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really bizarre. And then after Marcus Garvey, we have more lists of premature obituaries. Apparently, okay, there's a lot of people who are still alive, who have been reported as death, as dead, not as deaf. Rowan.
They've been outed as reapers. People finally know the truth. They've been unmasked.
It's fucked up. The government tried to hide this from us.
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson was falsely reported as dead numerous times. His death in a car accident was proven untrue in 2012, and around 1 year later, the death hoax was that he committed suicide after being turned down. Well, clearly he wasn't a female poet, so that people should have known it wasn't true.
Yeah. It's not that female poets have a higher chance of suicide. It's that female poets are the only ones who commit suicide.
Yeah, if someone kills themselves, it implies that they were a female poet.
Yeah.
That just necessarily follows.
And even if they
It's
identified as male, they were just transgender.
That's true. Don't let the transvestigators find out about this.
Oh no.
Okay. We're gonna
Bruce,
start actual.
You know,
we're gonna start like
dies.
an actual. We're gonna start like an
Bruce
actual
68.
like. Oh god, because transvestigators really are that insane. We're gonna start like an actual fucking like trend of like people looking at like anyone who commits suicide and be like, this person was obviously secretly trans, guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
just start spreading.
The government doesn't want you to know.
It's always a good idea.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, everyone.
But
likes
yeah,
it.
I mean, anyone dying, sorry, not anyone dying, anyone committing suicide being a female poet. Anyone committing suicide being a female poet is like a hard and fast rule of the universe. It's like how mentally stable people never make broccoli. Like, it just doesn't happen.
I don't even remember that. Was that something? Oh, that was something we did at one point, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, that was
someone,
on
someone did.
that was on the Discord that we will not specify for reasons.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, famously, the way that investigators have determined that Epstein didn't kill himself was the fact that he did not become a female poet after he died.
Some people, the problem is that some people, though, they become female poets after they die.
Right. And
Like,
we don't know for sure.
I mean, there are occasions where, you know, men of prominence die, and then after when they go through their stuff and try to sell it off for money, basically, they find the stack of female poetry that they, you know, self-wrote and stored in the
Exactly.
You know,
And that
drawer
raises
somewhere.
questions about the death, of course, because it could imply, I mean, not all female poets who die commit suicide. It's just everyone who commits suicide is a female poet. It doesn't go both ways. So, like,
No, but I mean, if they, that's well, I mean, the thing is, sometimes you know that they've died, so they must have been a female poet. I'm sorry, you know they committed suicide, so they must have been a female poet.
yeah, exactly.
But I mean,
but female poets
usually,
could still die
if they're a female poet,
without committing suicide.
there's some kind of evidence, you know, like there's something that they've done.
Right. I also like how you said female poetry as if like that's a specific genre. Like,
Yeah, all
there's a
female poets write
distinction.
female poetry. Female poets could never write male poetry. It just doesn't happen. Male poets can't write female poetry.
Yeah,
It's
obviously. There's just
a
too many. There's
separate
just too
genre.
many. There's just too many hysterics in female poetry, so it couldn't work. You know. Yeah, that's famously what they said back in the day.
There's too where they look at the sheet and they say that there's like
You know, I don't
12
really feel like
cc's of hysterics.
you know. I don't really feel like reading this, so I'm just gonna call it hysterics and leave it there. A woman wrote this, so I don't feel like reading it. It's obviously hysterics.
Yeah, I don't really engage with this. Yeah, actually, a man wrote that. No, well, not anymore. It wasn't him. It wasn't a man. Now he's a woman.
I like how this is. Can you imagine if like there's like a world famous poet who like suddenly commits suicide and everyone's like, well, I supported this poet through every ounce of his life, but he commits suicide, so clearly he was a female poet and I can't read this guy's work anymore. I can't read his work anymore.
Yeah,
I can't read her work anymore, actually. I was duped.
Misogynist, should not be reading poetry
It's
made
like the
by
scene
women. And this guy,
It's like the scene from The Incredibles where like Syndrome just like takes down the poster of Mr. Incredible.
no, well, you have to think about it.
More like
Imagine
Mrs. Incredible.
having great respect for a poet and then finding out that the poet's depressed, and you have to do everything you can to save the poet, because if they commit suicide, it means that they were a female poet, and you will no longer be able to enjoy their work. I think they made a Happy Madison movie out of that premise.
Look, I mean, it's not a pure motive, but like, if it helps people not commit suicide, I support it, I guess.
Oh my God, no, but sometimes people try to character assassinate you. They think you're a good poet and you happen to be blessed with the XY hormones, you know, the chromosome. But what happens is they print your death in the obituary prematurely. So that people automatically think you're a female poet before you've even died.
They can't just.
They say you committed suicide. They spread rumors and they put it in the paper so people
You can't
think
just
that you're
say
a
that you
female
died.
poet.
They have to specifically say that you killed yourself.
Yeah, I had to amend it. And and sometimes, if they're really convincing, you will read it. And then you'll think that you're a female poet.
And that's
then
how
it's
Marcus.
over. It's fucking curtains for you. You've got no more career.
Oh shit! I think that's what did Marcus Garvey in. He read in one of his obituaries that he was a female poet.
This is terrible. He read an article stating that he committed suicide, and that wasn't what worried him. What worried him was that now the implication was that he was a female poet.
And that terrified him so much he had another stroke, and then he died.
Oh my God. And then he died, and then he absolutely was a female poet.
Well, he
'Cause
didn't
they
commit
technically ruled it as suicide.
Technically, it wasn't a suicide, so he actually vindicated himself by dying. Once the correct obituaries were read.
That's even better. The lawyers, they presented their case, the doctor presented his case that it was via a stroke, and it wasn't
Your
the liver.
Honor,
And then they're like,
my
oh,
client
wasn't
was
male.
not a female poet.
Yeah, my
Stop
client-
posting defamation.
You cannot convict him of this crime, this misdemeanor. My client is innocent.
I like how this implies being a female poet is like illegal.
It's like a social fox pass.
Did you just say fox pass?
Yeah, a fox pass. I'm a male poet. That's how I describe it.
Right, yeah. Faux pass would be like the womanly way of saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm no woman. I describe
Yeah.
things exactly as I see them.
Yeah.
And I don't ask for instructions on how to do it either.
Yeah, exactly. And if you fail, if you fail spectacularly, that's just the manly way of doing it.
Hi, just let Trey back here a little bit because I don't think I properly introduced everyone. Hi, I'm Andrew P. This is my podcast, Misogynist Central. Here we make fun of female poets and suicide. That's just what we do here. That's how we roll.
Well, it's not even really. It's not like we're making fun of people for committing suicide. We're just kind of like we're kind of like outlining this absurd like concept of like how if people die or people die by suicide, they just become female poets.
Yeah, we're just being
like we're not making fun of any specific person's death.
Yeah.
That would be that would probably be like, well, not probably. It would be bad. It would just be bad.
Yeah, like full disclaimer. I basically mean nothing of what I'm saying, and you can hear me laughing about it because I'm not.
I feel like this is almost like so absurd it cannot possibly be taken seriously.
Yeah, I mean that's generally the impression that I hope to like give people because that's what I believe. But I'm just gonna say it out right now, just in case there was any ambiguity. I absolutely don't feel this way about women or people with suicide.
No.
The same way I don't necessarily believe that there was a woman who owned Russia since 1814, because I think that she actually owned it since 1812.
Well, that's really pushing it, though. Although I know this is controversial, I think it might be 1811.
We'll see. We'll see. The jury's still out on that one. There's still a lot of research that needs to be done.
Yeah. I mean, the jury's still very caught up. The jury's still like very caught up in the Principality of Snake Hill case in Australia, so it's going to be clogged up for a while. We're not going to get to it. We're going to have to wait for the results for like a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't want to be controversial here either and make a hot take, but like olive oil isn't really that good.
Yeah, I mean it's better than Ukraine oil though. We can admit that.
Yeah, avocado oil though, and sunflower oil, that's where it's at, dude.
Apparently there was a fake. Apparently the Twitter page of Jack Black's band Tenacious D announced his death on June 4, 2016. But the next day, Black and his bandmate Kyle Gass clarified that the page was hacked and Black was alive and well. It's kind of funny to see this because, as a matter of fact, I recently had a dream where I checked Jack Black's page on Wikipedia, and he was reported to have died at age 67, which he's not that old. He's 56. So, like, I don't know what that's about.
Ooh, you received some kind of a gospel.
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't.
I hope it's not out of suicide though, because I mean Jack Black's made some great works. If he turns out to be,
he's made some very great movies. He's one of my favorite actors.
The liberals and the feminists, they've infiltrated all kinds of rungs of our hierarchy. Just last night, I heard about the death of a wonderful senator, beautiful senator, Senator Michael Cornsby. He passed a lot of useful legislation. Guy? No, I just made that up. But he found out that he died, and he took pills, and he died in his sleep. So they've now branded him a female poet, and I can't believe that I've passed some of the legislation. I've had dinners with this man. I've taken walks with this man. I've even gone to his house.
I mean, I've had dinners with this woman, I mean to say, because the truth's been revealed.
I've taken dinners from this man.
I've taken dinners from this man. He stole the dinners.
I've stolen dinners from this man.
I've stolen many dinners from this man, and in retrospect, I'm actually very glad I did that because he turned out to have been a female poet.
Like, make no mistake, I would have done it anyway, but now I'm actually very glad that I've done it. I think it was entirely justified.
I also like how Jack Black in my dream specifically died at age 67. Because I feel like that had to have been inspired by the meme somewhat, to an extent.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna say anything, but probably. At least
It's a
it wasn't
shame
too higher.
to that's a good point.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't. That's the thing with me. I'm from a slightly older generation that still remembers 6ix9ine. So when people say, "Oh,
oh,
6'7", I'm
I
like,
remember 6ix9ine
yeah, but like
and
I don't
420.
know. Like, maybe I mean I guess it's still pretty prominent, but I never got why 6'7" was that funny because people would say 6'7", and then I just automatically think 6'9". I'm like trained to think
The
it,
reason why six
and that
seven is funny isn't even really because of the number itself. It's just kind of because of
it's
the
just the way it
absurdity
was
of the
said, I think.
reaction to the number. It's like people's reaction to the meme has almost kind of bolstered the meme in and of itself. Like people are either hilariously like addicted to the meme or they're just like vitriolically angry about it. Both of which are
So
reactions
like
that seem way too strong for the actual substance of the meme. And the fact that there is such a contrast there makes it funnier by its very nature, in my opinion.
oh, that's fair. I mean, my reaction is just like complete neutrality. I just don't really
Yeah.
care.
I do find it
Although,
funny how like people like think it's the worst thing in the world when like I mean if you were around just like 10 years ago like we always had brain rot numbers like 69 and 420. Like why is it the bad thing that we're doing it now? Like just because it's a different number?
yeah, it just doesn't. It's not even that big a deal. The thing, although I guess I can see how it would be annoying because I remember when like Amogus was a big thing, and that was just straight up annoying. Like that wasn't even funny. That was never funny, basically, to me.
I mean there
It's
were
the
Among Us
idea was just
memes that were funny, but like just the actual phrase
uh,
itself wasn't very funny.
most of the Amogus memes were just like saying the word or like we put one oval in another oval, like laugh, and that was it just wasn't anything.
I
I
suppose.
mean, I can't even say it's not funny because not funny implies like there was a joke and that the joke didn't land. There just was no joke. And
Hmm.
sometimes I guess it just didn't do it for me. Because
I
there's
did
brain
not
rot,
care. I
sure.
did not care for Among Us. It insists upon itself,
Yeah.
Lois.
I will not eat Amogus eggs and ham, Sam I am. I won't do it in a van.
I like how this implies he would do it anywhere but a van.
I wouldn't do it anywhere else either, but he's offering me to do it in the van right now, and I just want to make it known that I won't be doing it in there,
We won't
and
be
I won't be
doing it
doing
in
it
a
anywhere
van.
else
We won't
either.
be doing it in a car. We won't be doing it in a truck.
I
We
won't
will
do it in a
not be doing it
van.
on
I won't
public
do it in a
transit.
can. I won't do it in a land meeting. I won't do it anywhere.
I won't even
Sam, I
do it
am.
in the Principality of Snake Hill.
No, I won't do it in any of those disgusting little micronations you've conjured up around here. Okay.
I like how this
Oh, the
implies the guy
places you'll
he's talking
go.
to is like, yeah, it's like the guy who invented all the micronations at once.
Sam was
How many
behind. He's the ringleader behind most of them.
how many
You
taxes
know
did
how
Sam
Dr.
want to
Seuss.
avoid?
You know how Dr. Seuss wrote the book "Oh, the Places You'll Go."
Yeah.
Sam wrote the book "Oh, the Micronations You'll Go To."
It
It's
wasn't
basically the
exactly the
same thing, but
catchy. It wasn't as catchy of a title.
well, it didn't sell as well. But I mean, that he wasn't. He just
It
wanted to
did
find the
sell
right
well among
audience.
the micronations.
Yeah.
Antarctica
Oh,
was a huge
absolutely.
market.
They ate it up.
Antarctica was the biggest market for that book.
And they kept saying, this is a nationwide bestseller, but they wouldn't specify which nation. That's how they'd get you.
It's an
It's
international
manipulative
bestseller, but like
advertising.
the nations involved are definitely not prominent.
Yeah.
The only way we can stop this scam artist is by faking his suicide so that they brand him a female poet and then everyone stops supporting him. Well, it doesn't really matter because no one supports him anyway. His like his I guess his
Yeah.
entire
He
fame
doesn't
is
have that
like
big a base.
predicated on a false like idea.
Yeah, well, but the
Like it's
thing is,
on
though, he might have
stilts.
gone through that trouble for nothing. Maybe all the people involved in the micronations are themselves female poets.
That's true though.
And then they'll listen to him. They'll still keep
Right.
looking at his work.
Exactly. Um List of last survivors of historical events could potentially be interesting. There is a draft of this article, but it does not have an article with the exact name. Okay.
Unfortunately, I will have to be conceding from this show that we're doing at this moment because it is 7:47 over here, and I
Oh,
have
that's
other
fine.
things I need to do.
I'm just gonna keep that article on the back burner for another time.
All right, that sounds good.
This has been a rather successful podcast. Thank you for making it, Andrew.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad I was able to make it to my own podcast. It means a lot to me that I was able to attend, despite all the obstacles in my path, like my computer being in the other room.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm glad that you were able to make it as well, of course, on my podcast.
Naturally.
Would you like to plug anything while you're here?
Well, if you scroll down, you'll see a channel that I own, called, presently called Acronym. And if you subscribe to that, you'll get videos just like this. Believe it or not.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, you might. I mean,
How
everyone,
often, how, I'm sorry, how many links would I have to click through to get to philosophy?
it's a great question. Probably like 6 or 7.
Oh man, that's pretty good. As long as it's
At
not
least you wouldn't.
48. The large.
Yeah, at least you wouldn't have to click 43 links. Now that would be a tough challenge.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for coming on.
See ya. All
Bye.
right.